Hey there! So today we have another review. This is the last one of the bunch that with the new packaging that we get in the market from Jolly Pumpkin. So this is Oro. This is their golden strong ale. So like a traditional Belgian style, but this is their spin on it. So Asian fooders for 6 to 9 months. Spicy, peppery, blah blah blah. Yeah. Really excited to find this stuff. I didn't realize they dropped this stuff, and it's canned like a few months ago. But then again, this stuff is relatively bulletproof. I mean, hell, I once in Total Wine bought like a 5-year-old bottle or something, a bomber that I reviewed for you guys. So it is bottle condition. Well, the bottles are bottle condition. This I assume is can condition. Actually, I'm not quite sure. But let's try out Oro again. Again, it's a Belgian style golden ale, strong golden ale. It's a big guy. The other ones were four. The other beers were 4, 5, and 6%. This is 8%. So beer comes in a really nice kind of pale yellow color, pale gold, medium hazelnut. Yeah, that house familiar yeast character. A little bit vinegary, a little bit fruity, a little bit funky as well. A little bit of kind of like that, like Brett funk minerality. It smells quite sour actually. Good amount of vinegar character in here. It almost has a little bit of this kind of like salt vinegar chip thing going on. Like you open a bag of like kettle salt vinegar chips. Yeah, very much of that. Cheers. See, that's the cool thing these beers do. They can seem quite sour. They might hit quite sour up front, but they're really nice and balanced on the palate in general. So up front, quite sour. This one definitely probably a little bit more acidic. Definitely getting some of that kind of malt vinegar. Again, white vinegar, kind of salt vinegar chip kind of thing going on. Follows with the palate, a little bit of that kind of like light graininess. So it has that kind of like crispy potato chip kind of pale flavor, right? Like it's just that combination of just that vinegar and that graininess has that salt vinegar thing. Then again, maybe I'm just like actually vibing and desiring that stuff right now, and I don't have it right now. So I very much desire that as a snack right now. But anyway, on the palate, there's a nice kind of perfumey, kind of like alcohol flavor. Like some of these higher alcohols that bigger beer at 8% has this kind of like aromatic profile. It's almost like I think it's probably a combination of ester phenols and the alcohol has this kind of like extra oomph of sweetness and perfumey character that's sort of sitting on the palate and on the nose too. And then on the back end, white pepper, acid, a little bit of a drying kind of oak tannin thing going on. What's he calling this guy? Yeah, a little bit of hoppiness too. I mean, like, excuse me, maybe a little bit of like, yeah, no, I probably wouldn't like specifically call hops on this guy, but yeah, I mean, it's just delicious. Like, it has a really nice balance to it. Again, I like where the Jolly Pumpkin beer sit. These are not necessarily sour beers all the way. They're somewhere between like I would argue like a 2/3, so 66 or 67% like Brett beer, funky stuff, and then like 1/3 sour. So you smell the sour, but then it hits up front. But on the back end, you sort of get this kind of base beer character of the golden strong ale and all that funkiness, and it has a little bit of kind of this like hay, barnyard. Some people call it rope, like rope kind of thing. You ever had rope sit out there, right? That kind of thing. I don't know. It's just that familiar Brett funky thing. So I've personally never had like great perfect descriptors for that, and I don't think anybody does. So you guys look for those. You guys post in comments what you like about the Brett funkiness and that kind of like traditional kind of character that is sort of like falling away from craft beer, I presume, because like I think a lot of people are pushing away from Belgian phenolics and Brett Funk and all that stuff. But this is just, hey, John Pem's like, we don't care. We're not gonna like recreate these beers to be freaking kettle sours and make add all these fruits to make them pastry sours, right? We're just doing our thing, and it's a beautiful legacy brand, and the beer's just delicious. I mean, like. There's just a hint of like a candied sugar oomph of like almost like a Jolly Rancher orangey sweetness in the middle that's really quite nice. And there's no fruit in here, but it has a really nice kind of sweetness that really deserves to have that sweetness at 8% because it's a much bigger beer. But the beer is just as dumb as drinkable, just dumb and drinkable as the 6% one, and so super dangerous. I like where the acidity hits. I like where the funk hits. I like where the malt hits. It has a little bit of sweetness. It shows a little bit of that kind of like Belgian phenolic and peppery character of the base beer. Just killer stuff. Like what are you supposed to do with beers this good? They're just crushing, amazing beers. Only thing for me is that it's 8%. So like the bomb beer definitely has way more utility. This is a dangerous one for sure. Bomb beer gets a 99. This gets a 98 minus. 98 minus. That is Oro from Jolly Pumpkin. These beers are just incredible. There's just so much complexity to these beers. There are not enough breweries making beers like this anymore. Mixed fermentation is sort of like dying down, but also not even mixed fermentation dying down, but like specifically this type where it's like super Brett forward, not relying on fruit really, and then just has this really beautiful signature character where they're relying on like house fermentation character and less on acidity, right? A lot of these beers can really be quote unquote sour, and even the mixed fermentation sour beers, which are absolutely delicious, but some are really riding on the sour character. I love the variation of where here it's like, well, we're probably only relying, a quarter, third, maybe at most half the palate to be sour. The rest is going to rely on the base beer and the funk and the house character and the phenolics of the yeast and like we're allowing the beer to show. You're going to taste beer and other stuff going on as well, and oak as well. So fantastic. What did I say? 98 minus? Yeah, sure. Cheers. Later.